20% of Jeopardy fans are diagnosed or self-diagnosed as autistic, which is a much higher number than we see in the general population. You probably know what do we say 3% of people are autistic? I don't believe it.
That's the diagnosed part, but again, we have that gigantic lump of undiagnosed people that is the lost generation. So yeah, I think that Jeopardy is more accurate.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think it reflects what the real numbers are.
Welcome to the Autistic Culture podcast. Each episode, we dive deep into autistic contributions to society and culture by introducing you to some of the world's most famous and successful autistics in history.
Before we get started, a quick disclaimer on how we use the word autistic. The purpose of this show is not to diagnose the people or characters we discuss as autistic. While some may have announced being autistic, what we're sharing here is our observation of what is representative of autistic culture. It can sometimes be difficult for autistic people to celebrate our natural tendencies and traits due to the perception of autism as a disorder that needs to be fixed, a long history of damaging medical interventions to try and get us to fit in with mainstream culture, and protective masking skills many of us have developed to try to stay safe.
Whether you are autistic or just love someone who is, your hosts Dr. Angela Loria, the linguistic autistic,
and licensed psychological practitioner Matt Lowry welcome you to take this time to be fully immersed in the language, values, traditions, norms, and identity of Autistica. Episode 27, Trivia is Autistic. Well, hey Matt, it's our last episode of Autistic Acceptance Month, and I thought it would be fun to have an autistic culture celebration.
A celebration, you say? Tell me about it.
Yes, well, one of my special interests is trivia, which is popular among the autistic culture crowd. We love gathering, memorizing facts and data, and we do well at trivia. So we like winning, it turns out. And I actually play pub trivia every Thursday night, but we are going to play a special trivia game known as Jeopardy. I think you may have heard of it.
Once or twice.
Yeah. Well, what you might not know is that 20% of Jeopardy fans are diagnosed or self-diagnosed as autistic, which is a much higher number than we see in the general population. You probably know what do we say 3% of people are autistic?
Yeah,
I don't believe it.
That's the diagnosed part, but again, we have that gigantic lump of undiagnosed people that is the lost generation. So yeah, I think that Jeopardy is more accurate.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think it reflects what the real numbers are. So I thought it would be great to celebrate a very popular in autistic culture activity of trivia and Jeopardy, which we are known to especially love in this Autistic Acceptance Month. So I just want to say a couple things about Autistic Acceptance Month. You probably know this story better than me, but the roots of Autistic Acceptance Month lay in something called Autistic Awareness Month. I guess we're supposed to be aware of autistic people, like, watch out, there they are, beware.
A woman nearly ran me over one day, and she had the Autistic Awareness bumper sticker, but yet I was not on her radar. So
maybe it
clearly,
wasn't April.
Yeah, the radar was faulty.
Yes. So I love this. When I was reading about how and why the name changed from Autistic Awareness to Autistic Acceptance, there's a little bit about tolerance. And it said, tolerance says who you are is different, but I will... who you are is different, but I will conditionally allow your unpleasant existence to go on. As in, I will not run you over with my car. I am aware of you. I will tolerate you. I will allow your existence to go on. We will not send you to the gas chambers, apparently.
I am very gracious in that I allow you to continue to live.
Thank you very much, neurotypical person. But
Yes.
acceptance says who you are is valuable because you're a precious human being who deserves the same rights and opportunities as everyone else. And Zoe Gross, she is the director of advocacy for ASAN and the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network. We talk about them a lot here. And she says, acceptance is about moving beyond this idea of awareness, which has been medicalized and has been used to spread ideas of autism that are stigmatizing. Autism makes life harder, but it's part of our experience of the world, and it's not something to be scared of. So we are going to do a little bit of autism acceptance and an autistic culture celebration today, because instead of just telling you all the ways that trivia and Jeopardy are autistic culture benchmarks, we're going to play a little bit of autistic trivia. You are going to, as a listener, hopefully learn some facts. And we are going to do this for charity. But Matt, I couldn't let you do it alone. I cannot host this and compete with you. I wrote these questions. So I needed to find you a challenger. And that means we now have our first ever guest on the Autistic Culture podcast. So I am super excited to introduce you to one of the authors from Difference Press. She wrote her book, Parenting Like a Ninja, with me. She is about to write her second book with me. She is an autism advocate. She is the mother of an autistic child, and she is an all-around amazing person who I love working with. And I'm super excited to introduce you to Faith Clarke. Faith, welcome. Thank you for being up for this.
I feel quite nervous because I am not a trivia buff. I'm like, woo, I should bring my kids in anyway. But it's
we'll add a lifeline. We'll add a lifetime. You can do this.
We'll wait. But I accept being a challenge for Matt.
Excellent. Matt needed someone to give him a run for his money, and I thought, why not you? It also gives us a great excuse to tell people a little bit about you. And since this game is ultimately a fundraiser for charity, for the charity of whichever one of you two wins, what charity are we playing for? So introduce yourself and tell us what charity you're playing for.
Cool. Well, I'm Faith Clarke. I am mom to maverick superhero neurodistinct humans. And I help organizations become more inclusive for people like my kids, for all people. But I think when we work on inclusion for specific groups, we're really leveling the playing field for everyone. And I am supporting, I'm playing for Kaiser's Room. Kaiser's Room is an amazing charity that promotes inclusive theater and immersive theater for people with autism and their families, so that regardless of the way autism shows up in that family, this person can be in a theatrical production and participate and sing and interact in a way that nobody has to feel stressed.
I love that. Okay. Charity number one, Kaiser's Room. Well, Matt, you are a man who needs no introduction around here. But I'd love to hear a little bit about your charity. I know it's something near and dear to your heart. So let's tell our listeners.
So we are currently working on merging two organizations, the Therapist Advocates for Autistic and Neurodivergent Clients, TAANC, TANK, and Arcadia, an organization that is run by autistic people and autistic adjacent people, all of whom are working for the betterment of autistic people in Kentucky. Their organizations run by autistic people, autistic SLPs, PTs, OTs, therapists, nurse practitioner, medical doctors. So we're working on creating an organization, a physical place in Louisville for all-in-one autistic health care. So that you can come in and get treated by autistic professionals. People will believe you. You can get diagnosis, therapy. We've got a teacher, so that hopefully we can work on classroom stuff and hopefully organize more homeschooling efforts. So it's been a big thing that's been in the works for about a year now. So, but we need to figure out a way to get funding, and that's the current hurdle. So this seems to fit into that quite well. It'll go into uh, helping everything get started so that we can help the autistic people of Kentucky.
I love it. Well, God knows they need help, and you are the guy to help do it. We are going to put in the show notes details for Kaiser's Room, Faith's Charity, and Matt's project in the show notes so you can donate and join me. I am going to be making a donation to the winner, so the pressure is on you two. These are both super valuable charities, so I hope you will check them out, get on their lists, make donations to them, and we'll make sure you have all that information so you can do some autistic appreciation, not just acceptance. But for now, we are going to get started celebrating the joys of trivia, and we are going to play a little bit of autistic acceptance trivia. Hopefully we've got the music coming in on that. And so if you've played Jeopardy before, you know that we are going to have 6 categories at various point levels. And each of these categories will be all around issues of autistic acceptance. These are our categories: advocates, a history, books, myth or fact, entrepreneurs, and screens. Those are your categories. Faith, you are our guest, so we're going to let you go first today. Where would you like us to start?
Oh boy. Okay. All right. I'll start with myth or fact for $3.
Myth or fact for $3. All right. Matt and Faith will be buzzing in by raising their hands, and I will be staring closely at them to see who gets this answer right. Here is your question. Oh, and I should say, with the myth or fact category, there are only 2 answers. So this is a 50-50 category. Your answers are, what is a myth or what is a fact? And the answer is, everyone's a little bit autistic.
Ooh,
Oh, Matt, I saw you first.
myth.
That I do need you to phrase that in the form of a question.
What is a myth?
What is a myth? That is correct. Everyone is not a little bit autistic.
I know an answer. Yay!
I'm very proud of you, Matt. We're going to go back to the board. What category would you like to select?
Myth or fact for $4.
Ooh, all right. Here is your question. Autistic people lack empathy. Oh, Faith.
What is a myth?
That is correct. That is correct. Excellent. Faith, we'll go to you. What is the next category you would like to select?
Advocates for $2.
Advocates for $2. All right. In the advocates category, we are talking not necessarily about people who are advocating for autism, but autistic people who are advocates. And in this category, the question advocates for $2 is this young autistic is known best for playing hooky on Fridays for the future. This young autistic advocate is known best. Matt.
Greta Thunberg?
That is correct, Matt. It is Greta Thunberg. Where would you like to go next on the board?
I'm interested to see what the $5 myth or fact is. Let's go there.
$5 myth or fact. Here we go. Your question is: the medical model is only one way to see autism. You can also see it through... Oh, Faith! Yes,
I want
Faith.
to finish. Can you finish? Or
yes, you can also see it through the social model.
What is a fact?
That is correct. It is a fact, and you control the board. What category would you like to go to next?
Myth or fact for $2.
You like that category? Feel safe. Here is your myth or fact. Matt and Faith, get ready to buzz in. Autistic people have 3 times higher rates of suicide than the general population. Faith.
I'm going to go with what is a fact.
That is a fact. That is a fact. You still control the board. This is your category, Faith. Where are you going to next?
Autistic advocates for $1.
Autistic advocates for $1. This autism advocate also advocates for animals. This autism... yes, Faith.
Who is Temple Grandin?
That is correct. Oh. Faith! Well done. You still control the board. Where are we going next?
Entrepreneurs for $2.
Entrepreneurs for $2. In the entrepreneur category, we are talking about autistic people, and some of these are diagnosed, or it is well accepted they are diagnosed, who have gone on to succeed wildly in business. The entrepreneur for $2 answer is: this Microsoft co-founder became the youngest billionaire, Matt, at 31.
Who is Bill Gates?
That is correct, Matt. It's your control of the board. Where do we go next?
Let's go for entrepreneurs. I'm going to go for $5.
Entrepreneurs for $5. It's a tough one. Here we go.
Big stakes.
This autistic entrepreneur is a professional surfer with his own line of surfboards. The answer is Clay Marzo, professional surfer, his own line of surfboards. Matt, you've lost control of the board. Faith, that means you get to choose the next category.
Myth or fact, $1.
Myth or fact for $1, finishing out this category. The correct color to light it up is blue. Matt.
Oh, false. What is false?
What is a...
fact? What is myth? What is
a myth? Matt, I'm going to give it to you. It was a little messy, but you did know.
We light up red.
We light it up red around here. That is right. Okay, you've earned control back of the board. Where are we going to go, Matt?
Let's go with a history for $1.
A history for $1. This category is famous people throughout autistic history who have a first or last name that starts with the letter A.
Fascinating.
The answer is you can find this Canadian autistic playing harmonica or busting ghosts.
Oh, yes.
Matt,
Oh, who is Dan Aykroyd?
that is Dan Aykroyd, and you maintain control of the board.
Let's go with A history for $2.
This autistic physicist developed the theory of relativity.
Oh,
Matt,
who is Albert Einstein?
that is correct. Where are we going now?
A history for $3.
This leading pop artist's same food was definitely Campbell's soup.
Oh,
Matt,
who is Andy Warhol?
correct. Crushing on this category. This is your category, Matt. Where do we go next?
Apparently so. I can't tell the difference between what's a myth and a fact, but I can do this. Let's go with $4.
$4, A history. He won an Academy Award for his role as Hannibal Lecter in Silence of... Matt.
Who is Anthony Hopkins?
Yes, who is Sir Anthony Hopkins,
Sir
but I
Anthony
will
Hopkins.
give it to you. And should we finish out the category or you want to go somewhere else?
Let's do that. Let's finish out the category.
The Voldemort of autism, an Austrian active in the 1940s whose name shall not be spoken. Matt?
Yes. Who is Hans Asperger?
That is correct. That is correct. And you really owned that A history category. You've still got control of the board, Matt. Where are we going next?
Let's go advocates for $3.
Advocates for $3. I clearly need to find our advocates for $3. Here they are. Okay. Ooh, it's a tough one. He's autistic, not weird. Autistic, not weird. Matt?
Chris Bonello?
And can you form that as a question, please?
Sorry. The question mark was implied. Is it Chris who is Chris Bonello?
Who is Chris Bonello? That is correct. Autistic, not weird.
Yeah, excellent. It's cool. Autistic advocates for $4, please.
He founded the online community Wrong Planet. Matt.
Who is Nathan? I've got a tiny Wrong Planet person right up here. Man. Nathan. I'm losing it. I apologize to anyone listening.
Control of the board goes to Faith. Faith, do you know the answer to the question, to the answer? He founded the online community Wrong Planet.
No, I don't.
Do not know. The answer is Alex Plank. Autistic advocate Alex Plank. All right, Faith, that gives you control of the board. Where do you want to go next?
Let's see. Entrepreneurs for $1.
Entrepreneurs for $1. He hated buttons so much he removed them from all of his computers. Matt.
Who is Steve Jobs?
That is correct. Yeah, listen, Faith, if you listen to all of the Autistic Culture podcast, you would have known that one.
I would have known all the things.
Yes, we did talk about that on Apple is Autistic. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know he was, but I was just thinking about it. Whoa, there are no buttons. You're right. It's just...
You can find out why if you listen to the Apple is Autistic episode. Matt, where do we go next?
Yeah. I was, when you started that question, I was thinking of a person who wears no buttons, and I was thinking of an autistic Amish person, but yeah.
Which also true.
Let's go entrepreneurs for $3.
The stars aligned in 2012 when the Walt Disney Company acquired his movie magic biz for $4 billion. The stars aligned in 2012 when the Walt Disney Company acquired his movie magic
Oh.
business.
Oh, okay. Oh, 2012. Okay.
Matt,
Who is George Lucas?
that is correct. It is George
I was
Lucas.
thinking Pixar, but yeah,
Yes, I was
stars.
thinking
There you
Pixar
go.
too. Those are
And
Pixar
you're like,
guys.
Steve
Yeah.
Jobs again? Wait,
Yeah,
we already
yeah.
did Steve Jobs. All right, where do we do? Oh, by the way, Industrial Light and Magic, we do have an episode of the Autistic Culture podcast. You can hear more about George Lucas and Industrial Light and Magic on that episode. Matt, where do we go next?
Let's go entrepreneurs for $4, please.
When the doctor was in, she only charged 5 cents. But Charles Schultz made $30 million a year from this comic strip. Matt.
What is Peanuts?
What is Peanuts is correct. Where do we go next? Faith, you almost got it there. Need to be a little faster on that buzzer.
I finally acquired the entire run of the Peanuts comic strips. I've got a very large shelf for them.
And you can listen to our Peanuts is Autistic episode too, folks. So.
Let's go advocates for $5, please.
Advocates for $5. Very brave. Here we go. This autistic biologist advocated for a more open and scientifically based understanding of human sexuality. This autistic biologist advocated for a more open and scientifically based understanding of human sexuality. You got it, Matt?
I think so. Is it Alfred Kinsey?
It is Alfred Kinsey. Well done. Well, take us somewhere else next, Matt.
Let's go with books for $1. See what we got there.
Books for $1?
Yeah.
Yes.
The books category are all book titles or author names of either autistic authors or autistic books.
Ooh.
For $1, the answer is, in 2022, psychologist Devin Price released this instant autism classic. Matt.
What is Unmasking Autism?
That is correct. Unmasking Autism.
I will actually be doing a roundtable at a local library with Devin next month.
I knew that, and that is why I included that question. I'm very much hoping you can sweet talk Devin into being one of our guests on this podcast to follow in Faith's chart-breaking territory here.
That would be neat.
Yes.
Devin will definitely be able to do better.
You're doing great, Faith. You're in the game. You're in the game, and anything can happen in Final Jeopardy. All right, Matt, where to next?
How about books for $2?
This non-binary American poet, known for her reclusive lifestyle and her unique writing style. This non-binary American poet is known for her reclusive lifestyle and unique writing style. Faith?
Who is Emily Dickinson?
That is correct, Faith. Well done. You've regained control of the board. Where do we go?
Screens for $1.
Finally cracking into the screens category. Got to tell you, I thought that you would go there first. In the screens category, we are going to talk about autistic people and shows that are on TV, movies, computer screens, video games, any kind of screen. If it's got an autistic person in it or a creator, that could be in this category. And for $1, the answer is the pocket monsters of this franchise fit on screens of all sizes. The pocket monsters of this franchise fit on screens of all sizes. Matt?
What is Pokemon?
What is Pokemon is correct. Matt, where do we go now?
Let's go with screens for $2.
Middle-aged Scottish singer who proved she got talent in 2009. This middle-aged Scottish singer proved she got talent. Faith?
Is it Doyle? Is it Sarah Doyle or Mary Doyle or Emily Doyle?
You are very close. Those are all the ladies' names in the world. Matt, do you have a guess based on Faith's homophones?
I think it would be Susan Boyle.
It is Susan Boyle. But you were in the zone, Faith. You were very, very close. Matt, what's our next category?
Let's go with screens for $3.
This 1988 film starring Dustin Hoffman has absolutely nothing to do with autism or autistic people. Matt?
What is Rain Man?
Correct. Correct. And where to now?
Screens for $4, please.
He created the popular TV shows Community and Rick and Morty. Matt, I got to call on you for this one.
That would be Dan Harmon, or one of my who is Dan Harmon?
Who is Dan Harmon is the right question. What is the next category?
Let's go with screens for $5.
Funny guy who made a sitcom about nothing. Matt?
Go for it, Matt.
Who is Jerry Seinfeld?
Who is Jerry Seinfeld? That's correct. We've still got a few categories up on the board. Where are we going next?
Let's go for books for $3.
Books for $3. He wrote Neurotribes, The Legacy of Autism and the Future of Neurodiversity.
I don't remember his name.
Matt?
Who is Steve Silberman?
That is correct. Steve Silberman.
Let's go with books for $4.
All right. In this memoir, John Elder Robison shared his life experiences of growing up undiagnosed. You guys are not linguistic autistics. The question is, what is Look Me in the Eye?
Ooh.
And you should all
we
read
have it on the shelf.
Faith.
My son has read it.
Did I see you raising your hand?
I just knew I had it on, but I was like, can I go look? But no.
You cannot go look. I think if my notes are right, we are down to one last question. Obviously, I see you guys. I know you love me, but you don't love books like I do. We're going to go with books for $5, but I don't have a great feeling. Listen, in the comments, I need you to put in here which ones you got that Matt and Faith did not get. But here it is from this Jeopardy round, our last question, books for $5. Non-verbal Japanese author who explained his penchant for jumping in this book. This non-verbal
I have it on the shelf too.
Have it on the shelf is not the answer. Matt, do you want to give it a try?
I this is why I jump, but I don't know the author's name.
The book is This Is Why I Jump.
Yeah.
And the author is Naoki Higashida.
Very nice.
It has blue and green on the cover.
That wasn't the question. What colors are on the cover was not the question. We are about to go into the final Jeopardy round. Anything can happen. Both of our contestants are in the positive, so you are both eligible to play our final Jeopardy round, and you can bet up to the full amount that you have in your pot. Now,
Yay, not negative.
Matt did, Nobody's negative. We're doing great. Matt did take the lead, and it is quite a substantial lead. So your betting strategy is going to matter here. As we go into Final Jeopardy, Matt is in the lead at $46. And
Ooh.
Faith still has a chance with $14. Faith, you can bet up to $14. Matt, you can bet up to $46. The category is autism research.
Ooh.
Autism research. That is the category. Please lock in your bets. You can write those down, and then you will be able to show us your bet, any number between 0 and the amount in your pot. And I am now going to read the final answer. Your job is to write the question and tell us what your bet is. Here we go. This British sociologist and autism researcher is credited with developing the double empathy problem theory. This British sociologist and autism researcher is credited with developing the double empathy problem theory. Nee, 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 nee. Nee, 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 nee. Nee, 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 nee. Nee, nee, nee. Nee, 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 nee. Faith,
Matt's project is so well.
So the way Final Jeopardy works is you will share with us if you have it written down and you can show us, great. But I am going to ask you what your answer was and how much you bet. So let's start with, what did you bet, Faith?
I bet all of it, $14.
$14. And the answer?
I don't have an answer for that. I don't know.
Who is ? All right, Faith. Well, that puts you down to $0. Let's see if Matt was able to stay above $0. Matt, what did you bet?
Let's see here. Window. Can we? Where is window? Let's bring this up.
Matt's gonna screen share.
There we go. Entire screen, maybe. Here, let me. Oh, there we go. Okay, let me put this over here. And then
I hope it's in the bad handwriting of most Jeopardy contestants.
There we go.
Here it is.
I like this window into infinity.
Oh, wow.
He bet the full 46, which was very brave. Faith, you could have won this with the right answer and a $1 bet. Who is Milton? You did get it right. Who is
did
Milton? Yeah, well, she could have won it, but she would have had to have had the right answer. Who is Milton? Matt, you've doubled your money, and you have earned a $92 donation to the Kentucky Autistic Health and Wellness Center. You are building with a team of people. You can all also donate. The notes are in the show notes. You can also donate to Kaiser's Room. Faith, let people know where they can find you and what you can do if they want to track you down to learn more about you and maybe give you a little coaching on the autistic culture trivia that you are clearly missing out on.
Trivia. Yeah, like I need to sit down and somebody give me the cheat sheet on trivia. I memorize colors though, and like images, right? So the words don't stay anyway.
Synesthesia with the hyper-connected brain.
That wasn't one of the categories, but next time what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring up pictures and then I'll just say things like, what sound does this picture make? What color is this sound? It'll be a whole different kind of trivia. Well, synesthesia trivia.
This tastes like blue.
What does this color taste like? And then you could just tell us.
We'll just go off.
Yeah.
So faithclarke.com, and in social media, Faith Clarke or Faith A. Clarke, to find me. And right now, at this book, Angela, that you were talking about, for designing work cultures, work ecosystems that help everybody thrive. I have a quick audit. So if you have a couple of people on your team and you just want to start thinking about, are people actually doing well here? Do I have the ability for every human to do well here? I have a quick audit, so I'd love to hear from you if you have a couple of questions on that.
I love that. faithclarke.com. I also feel like we should tell people, is Parenting Like a Ninja still out there? Because some of our listeners might be interested in what that book is about. Because I think it's relevant.
Yeah, Parenting Like a Ninja just looks at the journey that many parents who jump into the autistic parenting situation, parenting a person with autism, it feels so immersive and energy draining because of the way the medical model has presented it to us. And so part of the journey of healing, so that you can be supportive to the children that you have, that's what Parenting Like a Ninja is about. It's about reclaiming your energy so that you have what you need to create what you want. Professionally, the book focuses on professionally, but people have said to me, oh, this could be for anything. It's for your life at home. It's for your professional space. It's for your business. How do you reclaim your energy? So that Parenting Like a Ninja, I still have a free PDF if people reach out to me. And of course, you could buy it on Amazon.
Lovely. Well, thank you so much for breaking the ice for us and being our first guest. Matt, before we say goodbye to you today, I know one of the great things about this week was winning Autistic Culture Jeopardy, but can you tell us one other thing you loved about being autistic this week and this month, in the month of April?
One of the neat things about it is that I just and this is where I may have had a bit of an unfair advantage, because I just gave a presentation yesterday to a group of mainly autistic professionals where we talked about a lot of the same stuff very coincidentally, and I didn't know that it would be coming up within 24 hours. So stuff like Milton's double empathy problem was a big thing about the presentation, and saying, oh yes, these are parts of our culture, shamelessly plugged on there, shamelessly plugged here, but getting to teach people about our culture, getting to teach people how we are a unique people unto our own, and that people need to learn about all the cool things that make us who we are. That was fun. And I unintentionally studied for all of this. So, yeah.
Yeah, you did have a little bit of an unfair advantage, but I had to give you some competition. Faith, I mentioned this during the quiz, but you can get the answers and a lot of backstory to most of these questions if you listen to the Autistic Culture podcast. There were a few things on there, like Alfred Kinsey, that we haven't talked about yet. So there are more episodes coming up. Dan Harmon, I don't think we've done a Dan Harmon. We haven't done our Rick and Morty episode yet. I'm sure that's coming.
I will be very happy to do that one. Yes. That and Community. I think we could do entire episodes dedicated to both.
To probably one for each. We have talked about Andy Warhol in our Same Foods episode. In our Food is Autistic, but we haven't just talked about Andy Warhol. So lots of the topics covered today you can hear more about by listening to our back issues. If you had fun with this episode, we want you to listen to all of our episodes, but most importantly, we want you to like, comment, and subscribe. If you tell even one person about this podcast, it could make a huge difference. One of the questions today was that suicide rates in autistic people are 3 times higher than the general population. Our goal is to change that with that show by bringing some joy and some information about the social model of autism, not just the medical model, which God knows there's plenty of information about. So share this with someone you love. Faith, thank you so much for being game for this, and happy Autism Acceptance Month, everybody. Thanks for being with us. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Autistic Culture podcast.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode, and remember,
no one ever changed the world by being like everyone else.
You can find out more about writing your book with me at differencepress.com. That's difference, DIFFERENCE, press, PRESS.com.
Or getting a psychological evaluation or consult with me at www.mattlowrylpp.com. That's M-A-T-T, Matt Lowry, Lowry, LPP, as in licensed psychological practitioner.com.